Record. Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome to another episode of the Free, Happy and Travel podcast. I am so excited for today because we have our amazing guest, Mangla, who has just the most captivating business journey. And if you know anything about me and my journey, you know that travel and freedom is like at the core of why I started my business. Well, I think our guest today has taken that to the next level. She's like in Singapore, right? Are you in Singapore right now, Mangla?
Yep.
As we speak. So I'm gonna literally take a moment to introduce you guys to Mangla, but then I'm gonna let Mangla do the speaking because I think we're both gonna be so fascinated. So if you see me look away, it's because I'm reading. So while originally from London, UK, Mangla has moved around the world more than once and has lived in Australia, Malaysia, England, Scotland, and currently living in Singapore. She set up a business in almost every city she's lived in. She started her first business at age 17 while on a gap year and has never worked for anyone ever. Oh my goodness, that's my kind of story. She set up a printing business in 2020 with her BFF in Singapore. They hit six figures quickly, won at a word, and worked with Facebook, an embassy, and many international schools. With this success, Mangla realized that if she were to move soon, she'd have to start from scratch again, but this time a little older than previous moves. That is when Expat Business in a Bag started. She helps other expats like herself and digital nomads build businesses they can take anywhere. I mean, are you guys excited or not to speak to our guest today? So hi, Mangla. Oh my goodness, what a story. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. We spoke a little bit as we always speak before the recording, and I'm gonna be a fangirl. This is what I do when I'm so fascinated with the story. So first of all, I would love for you to just tell us your journey in your own words.
Okay, so I have always come from a long line of entrepreneurs. My parents, uncles, aunts, cousins. So it's kind of all I know, and it's always sounded really exciting. And you know what the best part was? Like they didn't have to worry about getting like asking for leave because if there was a holiday they wanted to take, they could just get up and just go. And so we used to have these huge, big Indian weddings and then exciting places like Thailand and Bali. So everybody could always show up. And I think growing up, that's what I've always seen. So that was a huge pull into becoming my own boss. And I love it.
Of course, that is so amazing. So you see, like it's easy to take for granted that just how much the little things shape you. Seeing your family always have the freedom to just pop up, where many people will be like, no, like a lot of people think, well, I can't do a wedding abroad because nobody can come.
Yes,
Because my family and this can come because of their work, because of the schedule. I love that so much.
yeah, so attending weddings is what we've done. It's like even cousins and distant cousins, we could always be there because of my parents' work. And I think that bond that we all share, that no matter where we are in the world, we know that we're just like one WhatsApp call away. And so growing up, I just have that sense of I belong to this amazing family because I met them so often. So that's been a huge, huge advantage of living in the family that could just do that at any time. And
So
now my kids get to do that too.
so freedom is like at the core for you, literally, like
Totally, totally,
oh,
totally.
right place, right time. Because that's always, the free part of the Free, Happy, and Thriving podcast. That's literally all that it's about. Freedom to be yourself. I love that so much. So, and you've traveled so much. Tell us about your journey from
Oh
17.
my 17. So I had just finished A levels in England and I didn't know what I wanted to do in university. And my parents were like, you've got family in Southeast Asia, just go and travel. I thought, okay, that sounds fun. I'll do that. And so while in England, we bought these little trinkets, which were like, little things that you put on dressing tables, and they were all Italian made. And I thought, oh, that'll be nice gifts to take for people. And so I started my journey in Singapore, which is so fascinating because I've ended up here. But I came here and started giving these gifts to family and friends. And one person said she absolutely loved it, and she was planning her friend's wedding. And what are the costs, and could she order like 300 pieces? And it was a light bulb moment thinking, I could do that. I can go back. I left all my clothes. I went back, placed the order, came with nothing but 300 little pieces and sold it to her. And I made at age 17, $3,000 in one day. And to me, that's it. If I could do that in one day, I'm never going to go back to school. Like, I'm just going to do this.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
The fact that you also saw the opportunity at 17, you know how many 17-year-olds might do it? Because it was for a family member, right?
Yeah.
That thing to make a business out of it. Like, let's not miss the fact that at 17, you didn't only do it, you saw the opportunity to make a business out of it. Wow, I love that.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. And because after that, then my mindset changed. So every country that I traveled to, I was always looking at, oh, what do they need here? What's gap? Or what are they doing here that I could take back to England? So my mindset changed. And I think that was the biggest thing, even though it was just that one-off thing on my gap year, but it was a huge mindset shift.
Yeah.
And so now I'm always looking for opportunities everywhere. It's part of me.
And because you've made it succeed straight away, when you saw that 3,000, it's not even 3,000, is it? The value of it is like, it's like 3 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Not and not just the age, but think about the fact that changed you, right? You say, I can make 3,000 in a day. It's like your limiting beliefs have gone like there.
Yes, completely. Yeah, I was determined to take over the world after that as a teenager.
Yeah, I love that so much. So you said you've been traveling and kind of made businesses. What kind of businesses have you continued doing?
So I moved to north of England after that. So I got married, then I moved to north of England, and I did just sort of a low business course. And I was really interested in marketing and PR. And doing all of that, making a business plan, I got a grant from a Better Business Bureau in north of England, and they gave me £1,000. They said, we believe in your idea, go ahead, go and do it. And so I did that for a while. That was fascinating. Then I moved to Scotland. And there I thought, people were the internet was getting really big, and people were talking about getting publicity. And I had read Richard Branson's book about how he gets publicity. And so I started a PR and publicity firm, and the Royal Princess Trust, I got a grant from them as well there to follow my dreams.
You know how to move in the industry. I love that. Wow. I love that. I love that so much.
And then when I had my firstborn, we used to love doing crafts and all at home. So I used to always go around looking at different places, and we would buy this just plain wooden bookshelf, and I'd get him to paint it at home and then make it his own. So then I got an idea of doing a craft a month club for moms with toddlers. So during winter months, I would just deliver these craft boxes to them. And so I found a wholesaler and started doing that. But every time I moved, I felt like I had to stop and then start again. So I was always constantly coming up with new ideas to just stop and start. Well, when you're younger, it's absolutely fine because you always make friends, you speak to people, you figure it out. But I think now I feel a little bit older and kind of figure out, with each move, it's just going to get that much more difficult to start all over again.
First of all, I just want to say the mindset. Oh my goodness, I just want to pause here and say, a lot of the times, and I have a lot of these conversations with my students, with my clients, a lot of the times, a lot of us, and I've been there too, we think we need to have the one perfect business to make it in business. I don't know how long we've been speaking, probably 5 minutes, of how you've talked us through your story. And the thing that I'm hearing, that I'm hoping everyone can hear, is that you can make a business out of everything, and it's anything, and it's a journey, isn't it? You do. And yes, as you say, and I know that you're going to talk us more through, right, like what your business has become now, that it's kind of the same wherever you move. However, not to underestimate the fact that you had the flexibility to say, now I'm going to make a business out of this gifts that I've given my family. Now I'm going to make a business out of these activities I'm doing with my toddlers. Like, I love that so much. And being able to move quickly from idea to implementation and not have to think, is this going to be my life business? Is this, and getting money in and getting movement in and getting experience in, and all the proof for it is all the grants and all the trust and all the things you've gotten across it. It just, I hope it shows everyone. I hope your story and our listeners can hear just how possible it is to run with the idea they have now, right? It's not always that you have to figure the whole journey out. And in fact, the journey gives you the clarity, isn't it? Tell us more.
That is beautiful. Absolutely. The journey definitely gives you the clarity. And I think somebody I met recently, I've just come back from London. I was away for 7 weeks. And somebody who was just hearing about all the places I've lived in said, I could never move because, how would you settle? And what if you don't like it? And I remember telling her, we're not a tree. If we don't like it, we can move back, or we can say next. So,
Yeah.
and I think the way you just described it, business is like that too. If you have a set budget in mind, thinking, right, I'm not going to go in and go crazy and get a website straight away or spend a lot of money on branding and logos. I'm going to see how it goes. If it doesn't work, again, not a tree, just move it next. It's almost saying, okay, next.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, so important what you said there, because a lot of people focus on all of that because we feel like to be credible, to even dare to say, pay me to offer you this, I have to have it all set up. So quick question on here. Did you have, for every business that you started all the way from 17, did you have like websites and brandings and things for all of them?
No, I did not have a website because it cost a lot at the beginning to go, and I'm not tech savvy. It was word of mouth, networking. I love meeting new people. And I think when you speak with people, then you figure out what they need, what they want. And it was always pivoting and going with, okay, that person needs this, and going straight up to them, this is what I offer. And I didn't feel like I needed a website. I have just built my first website after being in business for 20 over years. And that was just a few months ago.
Wow. And this may sound so weird for me as a digital marketer. I built websites for years, but the truth is that you don't need all the things. Wow, I love that so much. You can make money, you can build experience, you can do all of that, and it depends where you are. Sometimes you will have the website, but the key story here is the power is not in the website. It's not in the logo. It's not, those are great things to have at any point that you want to have it, but the business is in you. It sounds like you are I'm hearing this term a lot, so I don't know if it's got some different meaning nowadays, but I'm hearing it from you. You're like a powerhouse woman. You're like, I'll make a business out of anything. Watch me. I love it. I love it so much. I love it. Okay, tell us more. Okay. More details, please.
Sure. Then we moved to Singapore, and my kids were very little that time, and they joined this international school. And straight away, the first day I started volunteering because I really wanted to meet more people and just figure out what was next for me. And so I volunteered, whether it was bake sales, painting sets, everything. And then I joined the Parent Teacher Association board. And that was really fun because I did different roles, VP, secretary, and it was just a lot of fun. For me, it was that first experience of a bit of a corporate environment. So I was just enjoying it. So I would go to school with the kids with my lunch and my water bottle and then come back with them because I was having so much fun.
I love that.
And in that role, we used to have to order T-shirts for the drama department. So when they had a show put together, all the cast members would get a T-shirt with the production, and at the back, all of their names written down, which is a really nice memento for the kids to keep. And so we were constantly ordering these T-shirts a few times a year. And one day, we were just let down by companies here again and again. People wouldn't deliver on time, or the quality wasn't great. And one day, out of desperation, my closest and dearest friend here, we ended up going to the oldest mall in Singapore to try and figure out somebody give us T-shirts that can be done the same day. And we were sitting on this creaky old bench while waiting for the T-shirts to be printed. And we turned to each other and said, we can do this. We know the quality we want. We know the process because we've been doing this so much. Let's do it. And so I think it was a week later, we registered the business. Within 24 hours, we had our first client, which was the school. And 7 days later, the world lockdown. That was 2020.
Oh dear. Yeah, the good old 2020.
But you know what? It
By the
was
way, I hope you have a drink. I'm always having a drink. So if
yes,
you have a drink,
I
please
did.
have it.
Sure. So when they were locked down, I mean, first thing we did was we had a big laugh thinking, oh my gosh, what do we do? But luckily the suppliers, we could still continue supplying. And we made 4,000 masks within a few months. We had t-shirt orders.
Wait. So you started with t-shirts. You had your first client. 1 week later, you pivoted to masks. You are the ultimate entrepreneur. Honestly, I've never heard a story more captivating. I mean it. Wow.
Yeah, so 4,000 masks we printed, and it was just constantly t-shirts because I was coming up to the end of the year. People were still at home, lockdown, and the schools wanted to give a thank you gift to teachers who were leaving. It was just they just didn't know what gifts to do, and I thought, what, we can give you t-shirts. And so one of our t-shirts says, I get locked down, but I get up again, which is sort of a play on words of that song, I Get Knocked Down. And that was a huge hit. And we sold, I think it was 1,017 t-shirts.
So is that with the school? What are you getting? Like, where were you selling the schools, the masks?
Yeah, it was schools. It was schools.
So you got more schools, not just the schools that you volunteer at that.
No, then because we approached another school, which we had worked with as a PTA member before. So we said, look, this is what we're doing. Is this something you might be interested in? And it said, yes, definitely. So we did that. Then Facebook.
Sorry, I just want to check on that. During lockdown,
we just emailed.
Wow.
We just emailed and said, look, our suppliers are able to get these to us if you're interested. And they were. Then out of the blue, Facebook had heard about us. Somebody at Facebook contacted us and said, look, just tell us your story. And so I shared the story and said, you know what, we want to support you. And so we did hoodies for them. We did t-shirts as well. And then the US Embassy contacted us. So it's just word of mouth. It's just word of mouth. And so that's how it got built.
Lockdown. Oh my goodness. Honestly, do you know the mindset that you have behind you? It's some of the most amazing thing I've heard. You started this printing company a week. Did you say a week before lockdown? Do you know how easy it was for you to quit? Like, there would have been no shame. Like, everyone's in the house, schools have shut. Like we'll do it when things are better. So you're spending lockdown just sending emails and growing and straight away pivoting to mass. Wow. What an amazing mindset you have to easily adapt to everything. That is impressive. That is so inspiring.
Oh, thank you. Oh, just, during lockdown, I think everybody was so giving. There were people out there who would just put webinars on, and we attended so many. My best friend and myself, we were just sending, details for each other. Oh, this looks like a good webinar. So we kind of figured it all out during that time. We sat at home, we had the time, and we just learned and learned and learned. And it was just a time of connecting with people and learning. And if we would, sort of watch a webinar and really liked it, just send an email and say, look, we loved what you spoke about. This is a bit about our story. Would love to connect with you. And some people replied saying, you know what, that's brilliant. Once lockdown's over, let's grab a coffee. And so our network just built just through that, just connections, which is what we were all missing so much during COVID. So we needed that, and we reached out to other people who probably needed that too.
Wow. That is amazing. Tell us more details, please. So what happened next? So this is, so to set it in story, I do want to set it a bit in actually to understand a bit more. So everything is so fascinating. So you're in Singapore doing this. Your children are how old?
So at the moment they're 17 and 15.
17 and 15, now. Yeah. Yes. Okay. But so in lockdown they were
12 and 15. I think 12. Yeah. 12 or 13 and yeah.
And you're schooling them too. Well, right? Because they're close to Singapore. Whatever,
we were shut down for lockdown. They were doing homeschool. The school was doing everything by Zoom at the 3 months. So it was perfect because while they were studying, I was doing my little studying as well. So it was great timing.
I love it. Wow. See, what a different way you've just said that, because it was, here's the truth. I think I've homeschooled my children. I was pregnant during lockdown with my 2-year-old now. And I had a 2-year-old and a half. And while I've always homeschooled them, not a lot changed for us. And we always work from home, my husband and I. So not a lot changed for us in a way, aside from the fact that we didn't have freedom to travel, to get up and go to activities, to go to families. However, obviously, and connected uh, all over with other families, with friends, with clients, with things, ultimately it was a really hard time. It must have been a really hard time for you too. You did have 2 teenagers at home studying, and yes, they were studying on Zoom, but you did have to take care of all of that. It's, to me, what I'm hearing is that you are just looking at it differently, because you experience the same as everyone, but you're just looking at it differently. You're looking at it as, wow, what a great time to connect and to learn and to do that. And it's not to say that looking at it the other way, it's not like a valid way, because the truth is it was hard on everyone. It was hard on you, it was hard on me, it was hard on the whole world. But it's just that what I'm hearing, and I'm like, I want, like, as your host, I want, like, I hope like other people are hearing the same and correcting me if I'm wrong, is that you can find, there's never a bad moment. Like, there's never a bad moment. Your whole world can shut down on you, quite literally, like during the lockdown, and you can still thrive. If you normally your business is done over coffee or events, now you're just gonna attend their webinars and send an email, right? Like, it's always possible, and it's possible that it's really hard and you are in situations and you still find a good thing in it. Honestly, it's just wow. Yeah. Continue. I'm gonna just keep stopping and fangirling over you, because it's a story that needs to be heard. This is you have
It's
no,
so true.
yeah. I think actually how
I completely understand, because there are, you could have sat down, we could have all sat down and think, oh my gosh, what's happening? Worried for ourselves, worried for our children, the future. We had no idea when lockdown was going to end, how it was all going to play out. We had no idea.
Yeah.
But it's looking at a time when the kids were studying. I had that time that which I would normally spend maybe driving. I found I had more hours, and I could have sat down, I could have moaned, worried, or I could have done something different with it.
Yeah.
And to me, it was learning is something which is a lifelong passion I have. And that's what it gave me. Lockdown gave me an opportunity to learn more and connect with people more.
So what would that be for you? As you said, the webinar. So you just would those be the webinars of marketing partners or something like that?
Yeah.
Or the companies that you wanted to or your future clients?
It was anybody. It was Tony Robbins was putting something up. I followed him. And then I believe, I love his quote. He says, success leaves clues. Mm-hmm. And so when he would mention somebody and he would talk about somebody, we immediately would find them on Instagram and follow them. And if they were putting a webinar out, go and attend that. And I think during COVID, everybody was just so generous with sharing with each other what they knew, that it was just beautiful. It was beautiful that we could learn from people whom we could never. I mean, how many conferences and events can you attend around the world? Whereas this way, the world just came into your computer and everybody was sharing freely things that they knew. So that was so inspiring. That was really inspiring. And it was just watching one person who would mention another person and just following those tracks.
But then you would message them and connect with them.
I would connect with a few of them and say, look, I loved what you said. That really resonated with me. Some people would reply and say, that's amazing. I'm so glad. Let me know about your journey. Other people would just, reply and say, thank you. And then even in Singapore, we were supporting small businesses. There were a lot of women here who had businesses, and we would just try and support them any way we could. And so if they were talking about their business, we would say, right, okay, if they were like a baker, for example, we'd order this and send it to friends, as in just saying, we're thinking of you, and connect with them. And they would always be so grateful. And they would say, look, after lockdown, when things are back to normal, let's catch up for coffee. And we just did that.
And that ended with, how did that impact back your business? But first of all, that's so generous and amazing. And how did you find that was reciprocal? reciprocated.
Yes,
That
yes.
was a
It's
shout for a long word. Did you find that
correct.
people reciprocated that?
Yes, definitely. And I think more importantly, more than the business or whether they sent referrals our way, it was we managed to make lifelong friends. And I
Yeah,
think that's my favorite part.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
my
You can
favorite part.
feel that you are such a social person that can connect with people so easily. Wow, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, so that was during lockdown. That was a few
Yeah,
years, but it was just we were connecting with different schools and doing this recurring order. So if a school would, say like we like this design, we want this many hoodies and t-shirts, we would get that ready. And 3 months later, I'd be like, we'd like to repeat the order. So it's become a very easy model to follow with this t-shirt business because we were sticking to schools. Um, but then I think it was probably about 18 months ago, and I was thinking, my gosh, my business partner here, who's my best friend, is also from the UK. If one of us were to move soon, we've got such an amazing business, we'd have to start from scratch all over again. And even though I've done it a few times, but I kind of feel like this is a winning formula we have. And
yeah,
I was like, oh, and how we've managed to succeed, it's been through relationships that we've built.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
because we volunteered, we know these parents, we know different schools, but to move to a brand new country again and start up, it would take a few years to build that up again. And so I decided, well, I needed to just figure out what's next, and just did a lot more courses. And that's when I decided to start Expat Business in a Bag, because I think if I'm feeling this, so are many other people.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
that,
Tell us
and
about
that's,
it. What's that one? What is Expat Business about? I think that more and more the whole world has moved digitally. And lockdown was, I saw that benefit that you just said in lockdown. I did feel it. I think because I was an entrepreneur the whole time online, everything digital, all the way from out of university to then. And it felt like we were these loners people, like there's just a couple of us everywhere in the world. And but then everybody like realized, oh wow, the world can connect you. Hold on, I can work from anywhere. Offices started closing now. A lot of people, I have a lot of my friends that are in the corporate world that are still remote, that have moved location, that have moved from cities to suburbs, and they're still remote working. So jobs, everything moved online. And I feel like this obviously there was too much heartache and bad in that moment, but the silver lining that we always experience through the ages, right, as humanity, I guess, is that there's always something we make good out of it. What I loved out of it is that we realized just how much you can achieve online and that you can go anywhere in the world, right?
yeah, exactly. We were reading about people moving from Singapore to Bali. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, imagine what a dream destination to be able to live in Bali because you
Yeah,
could work anywhere. So, yeah, it was just through connecting with people and figuring out that if I felt this way, so did other people.
yeah,
And so I, joined lots of local networking groups, and a lot of them came up because they wanted to keep in touch and connect with people. And there were people we were meeting who just didn't know what they wanted to do. They're like, the kids were growing up, they're becoming teenagers, they didn't need mom there all the time. And so women were asking themselves, right, we've followed our husbands and spouses like from country to country. What's next for us? We've
yeah,
left something that we've done behind, and it's been maybe 8 years, 10 years. And going back, if we were to go back to our home country, would we go back to work? What does that look like? So much has changed. So what is next for us? And having these conversations. And I remember speaking with people just over lunch one day and thinking, well, you've done amazing things. You've trekked jungles in Vietnam, you've learned Thai cooking. There's so many things that you could teach people who they'd want to learn, and you could do it all online. And so she went back later and she sent me a message and said, you inspired me and I'm going to look into it. And through that, I was thinking, well, must be so many other people who want to do something or even are doing something right now and have built a really good customer base in Singapore. But when they go back, what happens then? And so
mhm,
that's when I decided to learn more about the online space and figuring out how people are teaching online, what pricing models, what business models are like. And that's when I set it up, Expat Business in a Bag. So I am my ideal client. So it was easy to write for me. It's like, what do I
Yeah.
write?
Yeah. It's perfect. Isn't it perfect to create something that I think is probably one of the best ways, one of the best models. I do the same to teach people you at a certain point, because you understand so much that you can really help people because you've been in their shoes, and you'd realize that we are all different, but in certain things in life, business, certain things, we kind of all experience very similar feelings. Like we could almost say the same words of what we are experiencing, what we are afraid of, what we want, I love it so much.
Absolutely. And so it's now, I feel like I can't wait to wake up in the morning to work in the business, because I have all these ideas and all these people I want to help and more connections. So I think I finally feel like, okay, this is what I'm meant to do. This is what I want to do. And this is what I've loved every other business, but I also know that every business has led to this. And so that's what I'm so grateful for, that I've learned from so many. So if somebody came to me with a product business, like I can say, oh, I've done that. I remember that. I know about costs. I know about all of these things. So I really feel like everything up till now has just led to where I am at this point.
Just in this, how long we've been speaking, like I can hear that, because you've been to all these countries, did all those things, and all that experience and all those processes that you went through. It just like it will almost be like stealing something from the world to not come back and say, that's what's been my experience. That's how I've done it. I was going to say, I know this is so random to say in a podcast interview, and I don't know, do you like writing?
I do. I love writing.
I hope you write your story. I hope you write a book one day with your story, like, because people need to hear this, like literally just everything you said in this. I hope one day you'll write this. I don't know if you plan to. I know I'm a stranger and I'm just telling you this, but when you open those books and you just read someone's stories, oh, so cool, I've started here, I've built my family, I've done this, and you just like to read and learn and get inspired by their journey. Like, you have a journey like that I would definitely read in a book. So yeah.
And you're absolutely right. I think that's the best part. And that's how I tell people that your experiences have been so different from everybody else's, that we all love hearing stories. We all love that. We want to know what you've done different. What have you done similar to me? Oh, I never thought of that. I should try that. We're always having these kind of conversations with each other. So yeah, I think all of us have so much to share with the world.
And we
So much.
Like right now, one of the main ways I'm connecting with you straight away from the moment we like hit record is because you started in England. I'm in England, so I live in England. So like just that alone, I'm like, wow. Just so we probably, like you said, you were just in London. I've moved outside London, but I lived for a long time in London. My husband was born in London, so I'm not born in England, but I came here university and stayed since. So obviously, because this is my home, I'm listening to you, having traveled all over the world, but to me, you could be my neighbor. Like, so they're like, I feel, so you feel connection. I want to say that because when I tell you like you should write your story, I say it also in the sense of, for anyone listening, if they ever think, oh, should I write my story? The thing in the story is that it's the core thing in you that will connect in people. So for instance, I'm connecting a lot to you based on the fact that you lived your whole life in England. You have like an English accent. So as I said to you, we feel like we could have been friends in London together. And I'll be like, if you can do it, I can do it, because we know each other, or we feel like a sense of something in common. Then you're talking a lot about freedom. You moved with your family. You moved with your children. You've traveled. You want to move. That's another thing. So see, when people take a story, you think, oh, but who want to hear my story? Well, that's your story. But then people connect, and you've achieved something that made you happy. And you know, as you said, this is what people want. People want to travel. People travel for many reasons, but whether they are traveling because their spouse needs to move, whether they want to move, whatever, right, we're doing. And then you say, I've done this and I've achieved this and I've achieved this. And then in that journey of yours, they can connect to some things in you, whether it's your point of view, whether it's you, how you speak, how you look, whatever. We connect in all kind of things, sometimes in the most basic things, like accent, where we're from, like that really. And then you realize that your story has inspired other people to say, and it goes around, isn't it? Because you say you listen all the time to Rich and Branson, to Tony Robbins. What do? Mostly share their story. They do a lot of other stuff, but also share the story, right? So yeah, anyway, back to the
I
business
love
in the
that.
bag, expat business in the bag, which I'm sure
No,
it's all of this, right?
it's absolutely all of this. And what you said is so true, because I think as women, we're always connecting. Like when your kids are young, we join these mother and toddler groups and mother and baby groups because we want that connection with people. But it also helps us to say, right, my child is doing this, especially first-time parents. Does your child do that? You're always trying to figure out if things are going in the right way. And so
Yeah,
connection as women, I'm not sure how it is with men, but as
yeah,
women,
as
we're
women, definitely.
always trying. We're always
Yeah.
trying to make that connection, and that's what bonds us together. So I love that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So tell us about expat business in a bag. What is
So,
it? Like what, who is for everything about it?
so it's for women who are either expats, digital nomads, or even somebody who just really wants to travel and just wants to just be free, be free. And so I've written a book which is 40 easy business ideas that you could start up anywhere. And some of them are as simple as, if you're sitting with a group of friends and other women are complaining, oh my gosh, it's time of the year again, summer holidays are coming up and I need to buy gifts for teachers, which is a conversation I've been a part of. And it's like, well, if you love shopping and you know what would be make a great gift, that's a business idea. That's a business idea. There's conversations happening all around you that could spark an idea. And so the book is written with lots of ideas, but also getting you to think about different things. So what are your experiences? Have you, for example, have you been to New Zealand with a bunch of teenagers or even toddlers? You have done all your research, where to stay, what activities to do. Now, for somebody like me, doesn't enjoy this research part, if you came up with a guidebook and say, look, New Zealand for teenagers, I'll tell you exactly the route we took, where to stay, what to do, great places to, I'd buy that. I would buy that because you've made my life so much easier. So
Yeah.
in our everyday lives, I think we have something to teach somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are business ideas all around us. So that's what I want to do, is empower people to say, you have so much knowledge inside of you. There's so much knowledge. Share it with the world. It's
I
really
love that. So where is your book? Where can people buy your book?
so it's free. I'm giving it out
Yeah.
for free. I've written it, and so I can send you the link for that.
Yeah,
And
so
so people
everyone
can
will have a
download that.
link in, if you're watching video, if you're listening, there will be a link in the description of the show and on the website, and we'll send you the link for this. Amazing.
Yeah, so yeah, take that. And then I work with women who already have businesses and wondering, right, okay, so I'm going to move in the next year or so. Um, what am I going to do? What should I do? And so it'd be like audience building, like, okay, let's start building your audience online so that when you're starting, it doesn't matter where you are. You don't have that transition period where I have no income coming in or no business. If you want to take some time off, by all means, that's the freedom. But if you want to have that consistency, and then you get to do that because you're building an audience worldwide. So it really doesn't matter where you're living.
I love it. And is that so? Talk us through the details. I'm like so excited by everything on your story. Now I want you to like tell me everything that you offer. And I think that's just the power, because a lot of people would hear this and say, I'm moving to places or want to move, I want to do that. And why wouldn't I want to learn from someone that has been through all these processes? So you've got a free book that's called did you say 30 ideas?
40 easy business ideas.
40 easy business ideas that you can set up anywhere. I love it. So anyone can download that. We can download
Anybody.
that and get access. And after that, what's available to work with you further, or where do we connect with you? Where do we work with you?
Okay, so then I do power hours where people can book with me and we will talk through business models. And also, sometimes not everybody wants to have a business that takes over their life. Some people still enjoy the tennis lessons, the brunches. So it's choosing a model that works for you. And it depends how many hours you want to put into the business. Some people might like the membership model, say, right, I've got all of this content I really want to share, and other people out there in my niche. So we will discover that and say, well, maybe a business model like membership might work better. Or if you want to teach something to a large group of people, so that could be, you could launch a course once a year. And so you make that money once a year, teach that weekly live if you like, or it could
Yeah.
be evergreen where people can just go on a site, buy the course and watch it as and when they want. Or it might be, I love connecting with people one-on-one. And so we figure out, right, how does that look like? And it's also how much people want to earn for themselves. And some people, it is monetary. Others are, no, I just want to fulfill a passion.
Yeah.
And for some people, I want to leave a legacy for my kids. So it depends on the person, depends on their wants, their desires, the time that they want to put in, and where they see themselves. And like you said earlier, I think a lot of it is mindset because there's a lot of women who have left these amazing corporate jobs. But now, when it comes to starting something on their own, they think, I can't do that. It's too difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And so it seems like this long road ahead, like, where do I even start? So, like, everything can be started step by step, just like everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you it just try it's literally that's why I've picked up from the first moment you started sharing your journey, because so many times in business, and I've done it. I've not been the person that I've started one or two things straight away and they work the best. And those that I sat there and overthought and tried to do the perfect thing, it just took me a couple of years to realize that's just imposter syndrome. That's just mindset. That's just, and it's because ultimately at the end of it, you will always find, you will say to yourself, I cannot make money online if I don't have. There used to be, like, if you remember on Instagram, there used to be a thing with 10,000. If you don't have 10,000, you can't get a swipe up link. Everyone
Yes.
was like, right, I can't make money. And then you realize, you speak to people and you'd realize that there's somebody making 6 figures with 100 followers and they get their clients from Instagram. How? There's always somebody. I remember I wanted to teach some things on Instagram and I thought to myself, yeah, but I don't have enough followers. But then I do Instagram for all my clients as my marketing consultancy. And then I see someone who just kind of started using Instagram for fun and experiencing things. And now is training people. And those people are getting lots of value. Why? Because not everybody's trying to get to 10,000. Some people are just willing to just understand the app. They're like, don't tell me about all the things and all the ads. Just teach me how to put up a picture with a nice filter. So there is something you can teach, like you said, literally everything you said, you can teach anyone. There is a version of you right now, anywhere you are, even if you are 17, like you,
Yes.
right? There's a business you can do. There is something you can do. The power with working with people like you that have had experience that I found all the time is that if you connect with someone that has kind of done, so it could be like you want to travel, things like that, right? That has kind of done what you want to do and has gone through certain things of that. And would I be right to assume that, Mangla, that in your calls, in your power hour calls, you probably can spot the block because you've overcome it, right, in a second and save your clients hours?
Yes,
You've been there?
completely, because it's the words that they are saying out loud are the same things that they're repeating inside of their head all the time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all of that. And
Yeah.
it's also explaining to them that niches, if you niche down, it's easier for you because people think, oh, I have a business, I have to sell to 10,000 people, 1,000 people. No, you don't. Exactly what you said. You could
Yeah.
have a niche that serves 20 people,
Yeah.
50 people. There's
Yeah.
so many niches that are just overlooked. Like there's so many stay-at-home dads right now. But
Yeah.
that's an amazing niche that somebody could offer to. What about, parties? Parties for toddlers, birthday parties. There's so many different things. And when we look at our lives, what we're after, where we are at a particular stage, or where we've just sort of left behind, we've been through all of that, and we can teach others who are coming along.
Yeah, wow, that's so powerful. That's so true. If you've just had your children go like 5 years old and you've just experienced all the toddlerhood, there's something you can some piece of value you can give a new toddler mom. You don't have to be an expert at anything. You are an expert at toddlers. You've just done
exactly.
it. Exactly.
Yes, exactly. And so I'm just completing a course to get how to get your first 50 subscribers who then go on to buy from you. And that came up one idea while I was walking, because I build up my mailing list quite a bit now. And I was thinking, when people ask me, well, how do you start? Where do you start? I was thinking, well, I remember it because it was just a few months ago. So this is a course, and it will take me maybe about an hour or so to record it, but it's something that I can put out there right away.
I love that so much. I love that so much because you think you need to, oh, I can't do that. I have a course about email marketing too. And I remember for a long time, I felt like unless I have like 100,000 subscribers, unless I have that. And then I heard someone say my most useful email marketing course where people helped me get like my first 100 or my first 1,000 subscribers or something like that. And then I was like, for instance, for me was I hit my first 1,000 through ads alone, through local stats. Some people are struggling with the organic space. So maybe I just teach my process. Do you see what I mean? Not all of it. There are many, many people that teach very good on this. That doesn't mean there's not somebody willing to learn from you and I.
Yes, exactly. And it's having these conversations. So for my course, it would be perfect now that I know what you offer. I'd be like, well, I've got the perfect person for you. After this, go take her course.
Yeah.
And I think that's
same for us.
amazing, amazing where women entrepreneurs support each other. And even when people come to us and say, look, this is what I want to do, and be like, okay, well, I can teach you this, but I know somebody who's absolutely perfect for what you need. And this is who you need to work with.
Do you see that's a mindset shift? For me, do you know Amy Porterfield?
Yes, I love her.
I love her too. And I took a lot of her programs. And, she has an email course. I remember before doing my course, I was like, but why would I teach on email when there's an Amy Porterfield? But see what you just said. If you stop thinking of anybody as your competition and just start thinking as, first of all, not everybody, like that was, I will go back to that first, what I was trying to say earlier. Not everybody, like not, I would say not everybody connects with Amy Porterfield, but not necessarily because they don't. She's so amazing. I think everyone connects with her. She's so sweet. But here's the thing. You have something in you that is you. Like right now, you and I, Mangla, have something in us that is helping somebody listening to say, if she can do it, I can do it. And there's a power in that. So when you put something out, how to set up your business, how to get your first 50 email subscribers, how to do this, how to do this, and you speak as you will teach them the how, but your being will give them the confidence, right? Everybody needs to learn otherwise we'll just run out of resources in a second. We're not getting one resource for the world. Everyone can put, like you and I right now could put two of the same things out. We can both put out the same thing and we would impact different people.
Absolutely.
The way we speak, the journey that we've had, the person that we are, anything. So I'm hearing so much in your story that I hope everyone that's listening is hearing, that is so powerful to confidently put your ideas forward. And there's a business in anything. I'm so excited about your course. Tell us, when is it coming out? Because that sounds so good.
Well, I'm hoping to record it all by this week. And so in about 2 weeks' time, I should have everything ready. So follow me.
We may
Instagram.
have it for the podcast, right?
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. And then I'll send you the link for that. But another thing, like you said, I love Amy Porterfield, but she's not for everybody. Just like all of us are not for everybody. So some people might look at her and think, oh, she's too big. I can't possibly learn from her because she's super successful. But when they look at other people, like, okay, they're sort of newish on their journey, I can connect with them better. Yes. So I think not everybody is for everybody. And that's where we come in. That's where the gaps that we fill in. Because we will find our people.
That's it. And that there, when people understand that sells, when I understood that I sold, because I spent a lot of time trying to be perfectly polished. I was on a like kind of coaching call yesterday, but it was like a friendly coaching call with a friend. And I said to her, my biggest limitation is to be my accent and how fast I speak. So I would not do things live. I would record myself and I would have scripts and read really slow. And then I would have sound really weird. And that would get in my head all the time. I can't really teach properly. I speak too fast. My accent, people won't be able to understand me. Here's the truth. I do speak fast and I do have an accent. But here's the funny thing, that day I let go of that and said, well, I can't be anyone else, is it? And all of this is exhausting, sitting here recording for hours, because I deliver better live. I deliver better when I do Q&As and all of that. Once I started letting go of that, I'm sure there are lots of people that I speak very fast and don't understand me. Nobody has told me yet, but I'm sure they are. But you know what? I have received a lot of feedback and messages, and students that felt help from me. They said, your enthusiasm, your energy made me feel this way. Guess what? All of that is fast speaking and my accent, isn't it? So there's always two sides to everything. So the moment we realize, right?
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
our thing is actually what sells and helps people, then there's no limit to how many businesses and ideas and things we can do, because we realize there's value in what we do. What do you, so tell us more about what do you offer? Where do we find you, things like that?
So based on what you just said, it's so fascinating because I also have a free Facebook group and it's just Expat Business in a Bag. And just 2 days ago, we were talking about our own limiting beliefs and accents came up. Accents, exactly. So you just imagine that there's so many people who feel the same way as us, but somebody's going to listen to you and say, she can do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
I can do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And it was a conversation just 2 days ago that we were having on that. So I'd love for you to join because I would love for you to share with that group that this was your belief as well. And look at how you've overcome it. Yeah.
I'm gonna, and I'll share the link. So you guys join us in the Facebook group. I'll be there too.
Yes.
We'll share the link when the show goes out. You know what? Literally, I was saying, so I follow this this coach that I love. And I'm so much in the community. I wouldn't be surprised if we both love her. Elizabeth Goddard. Maybe you know her too, right?
Yes.
She speaks fast too. I think, at least I hear it fast. Like, so I was like, well, she speaks fast. And she's like, I find a lot of like similarity in my, not maybe she won't find with me, but I find with her. Some ways she speaks, the way she gives the examples and things, it feels like similar to sometimes how I teach. And I'm like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. You would be shocked where you've impacted people. I always tell, like when people come to hear, like I always say, this conversation we're having here, I've heard some things from you. You've said some things, maybe even differently than I've heard them. Somebody's listened to this whole story and getting something completely different. Just be you and put yourself out there. You'd be shocked what you can do, right? Right? And just you'll be shocked what you can impact in this world. So you've got a Facebook group. You've got an amazing ebook. Is it an ebook for us?
Yes.
The 40 business ideas in a bag you can do anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Instagram, again, Expat Business in a Bag, where I'll share travel stories. A lot of my travel stuff is on there. And also little tips about business. And I also sort of share other women who inspire me. So I love supporting women. So Saturdays and Sundays, I just look out and just share other people's posts. So that's the real passion of mine. So yeah, these are the few places you can find me, and I'll send you all the links.
And to work with you, you have the power hours, right?
Yeah, I have a power hour. We can do a 1 month coaching, or we can do it 3 months. I kind of tailor it to what people need. Sometimes they're moving very quickly within a month and they've got too many things to do. So we can tailor it to exactly what everybody needs.
So would you say anybody that is looking to move, whether they're looking to travel or they have to move as an expat, maybe they're moving with their spouse or for any reason, those are the people that you can help and support for them to create a business digitally or create a business where they're moving to, depending on what they want, right?
Absolutely. And even if you're staying somewhere, and I have a client in England who only wants to move in the next 5 years. But she's so organized, which I absolutely love, that she knows that, okay, these are the steps, because she's got really little kids. And she knows time is, it's really difficult to spend a lot more time on her business when she's got 3 little kids. And so she's just putting things in place so that when she's ready to move, she's got this enough money for her to set up and have a really good life and just take some time out and travel. So, I'm working with people who have plans to move within a month and others who 5 years. So everybody's on a different journey.
I love it. I love it. When you're listening to this episode, check out all the links, because we're going to link to all of these things. From Mangla will send us all these amazing links, and we'll link for you to have and to go check out. And I'm joining your group because I'm so excited. I'm so excited about it. Honestly, I cannot thank you enough, Mangla. Is there anything else you'd like to leave with our listeners today from your amazing story? Honestly, it's been amazing speaking to you.
Oh, I just think I've had so much fun. Honestly, it's been like talking to a friend, and this is the first time I'm meeting you. It's been so beautiful, so much fun, such a beautiful experience. And exactly what you said, it's done is better than perfect. It's a quote I read, and just do it. And sometimes when you think too hard and too much, and what will people say? Normally, it's not people, there's one person. If you think deep and hard, there's one person's opinion you're really worried about. Figure out who that is, figure out how to turn that around to your advantage, and just do it. Just do it. Like Mikey, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah. And that person usually is family. I would say that as well, isn't it? You're probably
9 out of 10 times. Yes, but it's only one person. But we clunk it all together and say it's people. What will people think? But if you dig deep, it's one person.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. You know what? I wish we had this interview weeks ago, and maybe I know that
in person.
Yes, because I've been like so I live quite far out of London now, but we go to London all the time because my entire husband's family is there. So I'm pretty sure I've been in London like a lot of times. Next time you're in the UK, please let me know.
Oh, definitely.
Like, let's have a coffee. Let's have a coffee. It would be so amazing. Maybe we can do like a live stream,
Yes.
from like a nice cafe in London or something.
Oh, beautiful. I would love that.
Thank you so much for sharing your amazing story. Honestly, it's been so inspiring. I already knew from the moment I read your bio, I was like, oh my goodness, traveled all over. That's like my kind of story. I want to hear your story. Everyone needs to hear your story. It's such a beautiful, powerful story. I'm so excited for everyone to connect. I'm like following you everywhere too. And I'm so excited for everyone to check out to that. So remember, guys, to download the book. So Mangla is giving us her free book, 40 business ideas in a bag you can do everywhere, right? Yeah, I love that so much. So you get that free download. You're going to get everything. Thank you again for being here. It's been such an honor. And if you enjoyed this episode, to our lovely listeners and those watching us, leave us a comment, a message, maybe send a DM to Mangla or send a message in, and I'll pass a message as well. It will mean the world for us, or share it and you'll have all the links. Thank you again so much for being here. And thank you for everyone listening.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.